Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we make two cards using our newest stamp set called Chef Vinnie. This little set is one of my very favorite sets, as they all are. Y'all tell me that all the time. They are my favorites. But for this card, I just wanted to do some stamping. So this piece of cardstock that I'm using is 4 inches wide, 4 1/4 wide by 11 tall, and I'm going to score it in half at 5 1/2. So I'm using one piece of cardstock to make a card, and we're just really stamping on this guy. We're not doing anything else. Now, this little stamp set comes with a whole bunch of tiny little images that I'm in love with, from rolling pins to salt shakers to a whisk to a bowl to a spatula to a frying pan. They're all on there. And so what I do is I just take those little images and I'm going around the page, stamping them on and off the page. Now remember, I've told you this before. What makes a project look professional, you guys have asked me about this when making your background paper, is to let your images hang off the page as well as being on the page. So notice how like some of the whisk handles hang off. Maybe I just show the top of the whisk. The rolling pin kind of hangs off the page. It really does make it look more like actual designer paper. If you leave all the images on the inside, which is another cute way to do things, it just doesn't quite look like designer paper. So I just run around and stamp all of these little guys. I'm using my my Versaclair Nocturne because I'm not going to be coloring this guy. So I don't really have to worry about if the ink's going to smear anything. And I really like how this ink turns out on this page. So now to the spatula. How super fun is this? So this stamp set alone has inspired me to create a recipe book that hopefully will start for you guys on Saturday. I'm working on it as we speak. So I think that first video will go up on Saturday, but I'm super excited. All right, now I have taken Fired Brick. This is my Distress Oxide ink. And why not Fired Brick? It's perfect for a brick oven, right? That's what I was thinking. So I'm going to ink the page. Notice what I do. I do a little bit at a time. I don't want to cover up my utensils and things that I just stamped, but I want them to feel like they're kind of floating in that red. So I just do one pass and another, and I think I end up doing 3 passes with this ink altogether. Maybe just 2. Um, I'm cleaning my page because this is a one-piece card. Notice how I'm like drying that wet wipe off. Because this is a one-layer card. And here I'm going to be super careful not to move it this time because I don't want that ink to get onto the back. So I left that in to show you because I was making a mess and I was like, this is dangerous. And obviously pull it off to the side and touch it up again. All right, cleaning off my little mat, and there is the outside of the card. Now I want to put something on the inside as well. And our little chef is in 2 different orientations on the stamp set. And I thought he'd be cute in here to have a little inside sentiment. And I actually don't do any coloring on the inside. I just thought he was super cute to put inside. And a lot of you guys tell me all the time you want to see the insides of cards decorated. And I've never been much for doing that because I like to have a lot of room to write. But I thought this was cute to have that little chef in there. So I whisk you a happy birthday. And then I thought about putting the whisk on his hand. And then I thought, nah, I'm going to put it at the top. I thought it was really cute there. So that is card number 1. Now card number 2. Super fun. This time I decided to color. So Chef Vinnie is going to get colored in red. Why not, right? Because red is my color and I love it. And so I just stamp him with some finesse ink so I can use my alcohol markers. And I just go to town coloring. Now, again, I am no colorist. I'm pretty happy with how this chef turns out, though. Here's what I did. I took a medium red color. So in the 3-pack of Nuvo, this is like the middle color of red. And I just colored his entire little chef outfit red. And I know most chefs are in white, but I got to be honest with you, I've seen some chefs wear different color outfits, so I didn't feel too bad about this. I even decided to do his hat in red. I thought he'd be cute. So now you're going to see that I take a flesh color and I do his little hands and his face. And then I'm also going to color his little tray. I'm not really stressing about these. I'm not going to try to shade or highlight the face or the tray. I do the tray a tiny bit, but not very good. I'm not good at that kind of coloring. I wish I was. But I do the tray that way. And then I come back in with the ink blender and kind of take the middle color out of the tray just to kind of give it the feel of some highlighting and shading. Now for the chef body, I took the darkest red from my Nuvo pack and very specifically put that color at the edges of his outfit. Notice how I'm not bringing it in at all. I'm trying to really put that color at the lines of the image. So notice how I'm not coloring his belly. I'm not kind of blending it in. I'm being very specific. I've watched a lot of people do this lately and I think, man, their blending and their coloring looks so good because they leave the dark at the edges And then I come back with the same color that I colored his whole outfit with and just blend all that together. I really do like how it turned out. On camera, it's hard to see, but there is some pretty specific shading in there. Oh, and I did decide to do a little color on the end of that little thing. Forgot about that. So blending that together, and that is our little chef all colored. Now, fussy cut. He's super easy to fussy cut. I know you guys hate fussy cutting. He is so easy to do. We try to make sure with all our stamps that we don't do any crazy little, frilly lines or anything like that that are hard to cut out. So we're very careful with that with our fussy cutting. And I also want to tell you this. Just do it. Don't stress that your fussy cutting is not perfect. By the time the card is finished, and I say this all the time, the fussy cutting looks great. And there's lots of ways to get around if you nick in too far or if you leave a little bit of the white page on, you can always color it or you can, run your black marker around it. It's not the end of the world if you don't do a perfect cut. Most of the time when you finish, the image is so cute, you don't even think for a second that it's not perfect. Even around his hand, notice how we didn't give him like fingers. He just has kind of this mitten style hand. The reason for that is easy fussy cutting. We try to look out for you. If you don't like cutting all the way to the line, if that makes you nervous, you can always bubble cut him, which is where you leave a little bit of an offset. You can always do that, and that'll be really super cute too. So this is our Whittle Chef. He's so cute. I love him. All right, little distress ink all the way around. And I'm not doing this to shade him really. I'm doing it to cover up the edges of the white paper. It's also a great way to hide any of your mistakes from your fussy cutting. For this card, I want to use the little sentiment that talks about your super, and I wanted to put a little soup bowl on his tray. So I stamped the little bowl from the image, colored it with just some gray, and then just fussy cutted the little guy out. And yes, I even fussy cutted the little handle of his of the spoon or the ladle that's inside, and it really is not hard to do. So there's our little bowl. Now the layout of this card, I couldn't decide how I wanted this one to go, and you're going to see it kind of changes a little bit as we go because I just couldn't decide. Oh, I also did a little whisk and cut him out, so I forgot to show you that one. So I decided to do a little inking around the top edges of the card. I didn't want to add another piece of paper there, but I wanted it to feel like it had a little light. So you'll notice that I'm not inking the bottom of the card, and that is because I'm going to have that piece that lays over to look like the checkered floor. So I just wanted to ink the top section there. So that was real easy. So then I glued down the little floor, and I decided to use the smaller check because I thought it looked cuter and had a little bit hang off the side. Had to trim that away. Then our chef. So I get some of my little foam dots, and I pop him up on the foam on the card. And he is so cute like this, y'all. You can put so much on that tray. Not just what's on this stamp set. Can you imagine the things you already have that you could put on there? So cute. The little whisk I cut out, I just glued to his little hand and put a little foam dot there on the back of it. And now I'm going to decide where he's going. And remember that little bowl I did? That bowl is going to go there on his little tray as well. Now off to the side, I'm getting my stamp ready. And this is the one that says, I think you're super. I just think that's so cute for the little soup bowl. So I'm just going to pull off his little backer pieces and stick him down to the card there. I've been adding a little glue to those little foam dots lately, just so they'll stay really in place, especially for mailing. So there he is standing on his little checkered kitchen floor. How stinking cute is that, right? A little bit of foam on that bowl, and then that bowl is going to go right on top of the little tray. I love this little guy so much. He is the cutest. Now, of course, it needed something else, right? You know me well enough to know I had to do some stitching. So I pull out my black marker and I just go around and do some stitching at the top and on the sides over there. And then when I finish, I think, you know what? This guy still needs a little something. Look how sloppy my stitches are getting. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. My hand gets a little tired after doing all these stitches. He definitely needs white lines to make him pop. Something about the white lines. And lately I've been doing the kind of the line and the two dots and the line and the two dots, and I really like how that looks. So anywhere I could put a little highlight, it just wakes the image up. You really should try it. You'll be surprised how much it changes. Now for the hard part. I did not like the bottom, so I decided to round the corners to think that would help. But then I'm like, this needs something. So I pull out my baker's twine. I wish that I had thought of this before because this would have been a lot easier and I would have been able to tie it just around that little black and white checkered piece and then glue it straight down to the page. But this card has a piece wrapped all the way around the bottom. I do kind of use some glue and tack it in place after I get my bow like I like it, which can be a process unto itself. but it just needed something on the bottom. It just was a little too plain for me. So I added that baker's twine, and there you go. That is our 2 cards from the stamp set, Chef Vinnie. You guys know I want to see what you make, so if you make a project using this stamp set, please head to our website at maymaymadeit.com and share photos of your work on our customer gallery. We love seeing your work, and there are over 2,000 images for inspiration for you there as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.